Hello, namaskar, and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Pavani. I hope you all are doing good, my dear friends. Today is 28th September, and let's see what we have got in PIB today. Now, before moving ahead, let me inform all of you that our pen drive and tablet courses are available for various different exams, as you can see on your screen. If you want to know more about it, do check out studyiq.com. If you have any question or queries regarding it, if you have any confusion regarding it, then feel free and give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Download the PDF of today's lecture from my FB page and Twitter handle. Now, dear friends, if I ask you this question that the last time, when you were going through a newspaper and you were reading an article, if I throw this word, suicides in India, what is the first, you can say, the image that you see or a name that pops up in your head? I'm sure it's farmers, isn't it? Farmers suicide in India, because this is something that is widely reported, and we know it as well because agriculture at present, the way things are going on from last couple of decades, it is a sort of not a viable business, I would say, right? And this is one of the main reasons why we find that 5,650 farmers committed suicide back in 2014. Just in 2014, 5,000 plus 5,650 farmers committed suicide. And when we read this sort of figures, we say that we should do something about farming, and we need to change or re-engineer our agriculture and agriculture process and this whole sort of industry. But do we ever talk about these figures, that in the same year 2014, 20,000 housewives committed suicide in our country? 20,000. Can you believe this thing? And if we are saying that 5,650 farmers committing suicide indicates that our agricultural sector is going down, then can we safely say this thing? This is a question that I'm leaving on you guys. Can we say that if 20,000 housewives committed suicides in our country back in 2014, then what's going on with our family structure? Generally speaking, we say that Indian family values and structure is very strong, and it's rock solid, and people stick with each other throughout the life and things like that. But is it really true, judging from this number, this 20,000 plus? And this is just housewives, right? I'm not talking about overall general suicide rate. Overall general suicide rate was back in 2016, as per Lancet article, 2,30,314. Can you believe 2,30,000? This is 50% more than road accidents. And the reason why we don't talk about it, the reason why we are not that much conscious about it, if I can use this word consciousness or aware about this thing, is because this particular issue has not caught the attention of policymakers, or as a society, or as a nation. Even Supreme Court, expressed its concern about this potholes and road accidents, but we haven't heard that much about this housewives and women committing suicide in our country. Do you know that every year World Suicide Prevention Day is celebrated in the month of September? Now just imagine, when you are going through like malaria or TB, we know that TB is a big killer in our country. So big advertisements and everything we find regarding TB, or when TB Day is coming, eliminating TB Day is approaching us. But we hardly find advertisements, big advertisements and awareness campaign when it comes to Suicide Prevention Day. So I have got a question for you guys. Can you give me the date on which the world celebrates this Suicide Prevention Day? That's question number 1 for you guys. Now, if we talk about our, we also talk about our demographic dividend. We know that somewhere around 65% of our population in our country is below the age of, or between this bracket of 17 to 35, which is a very young age bracket, of course. When we talk about suicides, or when we go through the numbers, we find that from 15 to 39 back in 2016, right, this age bracket, or this group of 15 to 39 years. Now you'd be thinking that 39 or somewhere around 40 is a bit old, but let me tell you that this is the time when, generally speaking, when people reach around 35, 36, or particularly in their 40s, they touch this perfection in whatever field they are, they will be at their peak. They would be knowing everything what's going on in their life. They are somewhere in middle. They have gone through all these ups and downs of their life, and now they are a bit more stable and they are more focused, and they have done all those mistakes and everything. So it's a matter of concern that starting from this tender age of 15 to this age of 39, where generally speaking, about or somewhere around 27, 28 or 30, after that you are mature enough, to handle, generally speaking, most of the issues that you go through. And issues are part and parcel of our life, so it's not that you can duck them or you can avoid them. You are going to face them, but we are mature enough, when we reach this age. So anyways, the matter of concern is that 71.2% of suicide, right, deaths took place in this age group, right? One of the leading cause of death in this age group when it comes to women was suicide. When it comes to men, it was 57.7%. So total deaths, and 71, if you say 100 women died in 2016, then 71 died because of suicide. So suicide was the leading cause of death in India in 2016. This is a matter of concern. If we see our global performance or contribution, which is a very bad contribution, in 1990 it was 25.3%. We are talking about total suicide deaths in the world. So 25% took place in India, and in 2016 this has gone up to 36.6%, which is again a matter of concern. If we compare Indian women with global women, then 2.1 times the chances are, Indian women committing suicide on an average is 2.1 times higher compared to global average. States like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, these states are reasonably, you can say, literate. These states have, if you compare it with other parts of our country, then we find that a little bit of less patriarchy you find here. Women are a bit more empowered, if I'm not wrong, in this part of our country. And as far as suicides are concerned, right, this area is a bit more vulnerable, this South Indian portion of our nation. And if we go through this Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh and Odisha, generally speaking, it is considered that these states are a bit, conservative, or you can say they are, in terms of literacy, they are a bit lagging behind, but they are not that vulnerable, when you compare it with the southern portion. The other thing is we don't take it, even today it is considered as a social taboo topic or something, but we hardly look at it from health point of view. When we talk about health, we talk about virus and we talk about bacteria and heart diseases and non-communicable diseases, but we hardly focus on this depression, right, which is a mental illness, is a disease. It's something to do with your biology. We have methods and medicines and setups for other diseases, but we don't have proper centers for people who are going through depression and mental health and mental illness and this sort of issues. And it's very sad as well that many a times we find that people are making fun of those people who are going through this sort of depression and mental illness. And it's not something that means, of course, your lifestyle, your attitude, all these things, they do matter. But let me tell you, the way things are going on an average, people are losing their sleep. They hardly sleep. They don't have this proper sleep quota. I'm sure many of you agree with me on this topic, that when most of us, when we are in our bed for 1 or 2 hours, what we are doing is checking our Facebook or WhatsApp or God knows what, and then we try to sleep. We lose our sleep, and then we have to wake up early. We are using alarm to get up rather than it should be a very natural thing, isn't it? So these are the things that are going with us, and all these things can lead us to depression, right? The lack of proper food, lack of exercise, and all these things. So it's not that we are not vulnerable, or we will never be in this state. We have to be very careful here. So biological, one of the main cause of this suicide is depression, and then suicidal thoughts and other things. Then sociological factor, domestic violence, gender inequality, all these things, small things will one by one drop, you will find that the whole jar is filled up to its brim. So a time will come when a person will fed up, because of this domestic violence or gender inequality and other things. And then you have economical factors as well, like unemployment, crop failure, high debts and other issues. So and one of the causes is either one of this, or it could be a combo as well. Depression accompanied with unemployment, or because of unemployment someone is going through depression, and all these things can lead to suicides. The sad thing, as you know, that we don't talk about this thing that much, and I would really appreciate that if you guys talk about it. If you feel someone is not happy, then try to cheer them up. Spread positive word around. Wherever you go, you should be like a flower, rather than highlighting negative things about, or picking negative things, or discussing some bad things about someone. It should be other way around. Wherever we go, we should try to be as positive as we can. I'm not saying that all of you will become perfect from right now, and I'm not claiming that I'm perfect. But the reason I'm saying is that the more positive things we spread around, we will become more positive, and our whole surrounding will become positive. Because the way things are going on, the numbers that we have, I think that no one is safe from this phenomena of suicides that are going on in our country. And it's not something that will be cured by taking few medicines. If we are going through some sort of diseases, like other disease, like viral infection or bacterial infection or whatever, then you can go through a particular course and you'll be all right after it, after that particular course. But here you have to work on various different angles, as you can see here, that it's not just biological thing, it could be a combo as well. So biological, sociological and economical factors will matter, and society, government, individual, every one of us are stakeholder in this thing. Then one thing that we don't find in our country is a socially contagious problem. We don't see it as a socially contagious problem because there is a thing called weather effect. Now this weather effect kicked in after this book called Sorrows of Young Werther, and this reports on Marilyn Monroe's suicide. So this worked as a spark for many ladies and many people out there. They thought that it's glamorous, to suicide, and they thought that this is a legitimate option to get rid of all the problems that we face in our life. But this is not right at all. And the reason why we are, the reason why we find, one of the reason why we are not able to stop, or we are performing very badly in this area, is because we are not that much conscious about this weather effect. The way reports are reported in newspaper about suicides and other things. And so basically we need to work on this thing called a counter, a thing that can counter this, or can eliminate this effect of, or this weather effect, is Papageno effect. Papageno effect is basically based on this magic flute, Mozart's opera. There goes a story like a person is trying to commit suicide, and then three guys will pop up and they will explain that person that why it is important to live life and things like that. Why failure or a bit of pain is all right. You know what I mean? So this is my advice, you can say, or a sort of discussion with you guys, that say you are preparing for various different competitive exams, and the thing is that failure and success is part and parcel of our life. Your exam is not your life. Your exam is just a small part. If this big circle is life, then this is your exam, a small point, a small portion, right? So I hope everyone succeed, right? But just in case if you don't, then don't take it negatively, right? Life is much bigger than that. And I have to discuss this thing because as you guys are students, you are in that age. So as a teacher, as a friend, I have to bring this up, that never ever do anything that is stupid, right? Like suicide. And always help around someone if you can. If someone of your friend, they are not feeling that right, because life is, if you fail, right? If you fail, then don't think that you have failed your life. Just remember this word, right? And one day you will realize that I was right, and it's not me that I was right. This is something the whole world has created this thing. The nature has created this thing, that You have to fail. If you fail here, that means a big success is waiting for you. Your vision was up to this much, but nature's vision is this much for you, and you are standing here. So if you fail here, that's fine. A big success is waiting for you in future. So don't end your life whatever happens, right? Right. So in Austria, they have back in 1987, they tried this Papageno effect. They started printing positive news and motivational stories, or motivational in the sense like how someone was going through a rough phase and how that person came out of it and things like that. So it is something that we can do here in our society as an individual. We can collaborate, government can collaborate with the media, and we can come out with this sort of positive news and positive awareness. We need more hospitals or clinics who deal with this depression and suicidal thoughts or suicidal tendencies and things like that. And finally, dear friends, numbers that we have gone through, as you know, that number of women committing suicide in our country is a bit alarming, and women are certainly linchpins, right? They are that very important core of our emotional well-being, particularly for our families. So if women are going down, then trust me, all of us are going down, whether we know it or we don't know it. It doesn't matter, right? If our ladies lot, if they are not feeling safe, if they are going down, then the whole society is going down. So it's something that is important for us. And the reason why I have discussed this particular topic, because if you go through your past papers, right, if you are applying, if you are preparing for an exam that asks you, or in which you have to write an essay, or if you have to write descriptive questions, then you will find that you will find one topic on women empowerment or maybe women's health and things like that. So when we talk about women empowerment, we talk about health, we talk about economy, but we hardly talk about this thing. So one or two lines from today's understanding, if you think that this particular this essay, in this one you can talk about 1 or 3 or 4 or 5 points that we have discussed today, then examiner as well will find that the things that you are discussing is bit hutcase, is bit out of the box, and of course that will leave a very good impression of your answer on that person, and there are high chances that you will get good marks. So I hope it's worth it. Right, so Prime Minister Narendra Modi is awarded with the Champions of Earth Award. And Prime Minister talked about this culture of India, where we are, in tune with nature. This is our part of culture and heritage and things like that. And he also talked about that India is with the world on the whole issue. Now, today we are been bitten by the clock, so I'm going to be a bit quick here. So Mr. Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron are awarded for this International Solar Alliance, and we are going to get rid of this plastic, single-use plastic by 2022. Of course, we can use it for road production, isn't it? We talked about this thing a couple of days ago. Now we have news from Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Agri-food value chain is important. We need to stop wastage or destruction of our food, and we need to, when we look after our food value chain, we are creating income for our farmers. At the same time, we are also ensuring food security. So we have number of schemes like ENAM is there. We have this Operation Green that helps us to tackle this fluctuation in prices of tomatoes and onions and potatoes. Then we have this Mission Organic Value Chain Development for Northeastern region. We have MID, that is Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, that is fruits and vegetable. We have Sampada for latest warehouse and creating infrastructure. Full form is Scheme for Agro-Marine Processing and Development of Agro-Processing Clusters. With this, dear friends, Ahmedabad Airport has been awarded as big, or you can say best airport award for a major city. And Indore's airport, that is Devi Ahalya Bai Holkar Airport of Indore, and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport, that is in Ahmedabad. So this Indore airport has been awarded for best in the best airport in this category of rest of India. And Ministry of Electronics and IT has launched CEDA. CEDA stands for Center of Excellence for Data Analytics. And what this CEDA will do is it will collect data from government agencies, and then it will use this data analytics and machine learning and AIs, and it will come out with some reports and data analytics which can be used by various different government departments to formulate policies and for implementation of policies and things like that. So that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you all. Jai Hind.